All right, welcome to another gear review. This time we're talking about a little bit of a sensitive topic, and it's the idea of how do you actually go to the bathroom when you're camping, especially if you're doing dispersed camping where there are no facilities and you're moving away from things like state parks. These are really the options that you have available. There's one third, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So the option that I went with as far as my camping experience was to move to the Porta Potti 365. Now this is by Thetford, and they make several versions of this type of toilet system, some even more exotic, like their electronic flushing systems. I went with kind of the middle of the road approach for a couple of reasons. One is this is a cassette style toilet system, so all of the waste is in the bottom, and then your top tank holds all the water that you use for flushing purposes. So when you have all the waste in the cassette, you eliminate all the scent, you can transport it, it's easy. And if you use a digestive system like these Aquamax from Thetford, it'll basically dissolve all of the waste that's in the cassette so that when you take it home, you can flush it. It's actually toilet safe. You can put it in a black water hole, whatever makes the most sense for disposal. But you don't have to dispose it right away. I mean, it's kind of weird to haul that stuff around, but it's one of those things where you can get to it at your leisure. So the way these systems work, it's basically just a standard toilet. You've got your pump, which allows you to put water in the bowl and to flush things out. You've got your water intake for filling up the top tank. When you're done doing your business, you just pull that, everything goes down into the cassette, you close it up, and you're good to go. So this is actually a more exotic option, but when I'm doing camping with multiple friends where we have to have some kind of a community toilet, this is the better approach, in my opinion, because everybody can take advantage of that. Another alternative is the Trip Tips outdoors toilet system. So this is something that collapses down into a very small bag, so it's very easy to transport, but it is a solid waste system. So you have to worry about acquiring bags, either biodegradable or not, that you can install in this, and then when you're done doing your business, you seal up the bag and you can throw it away. So that's another option that's a little bit more portable, a little more flexible, a little easier to transport in and out. The differences you'll notice in height, and I honestly think that matters. So we measured this one out, it's just under a foot high. When you look at the Porta Potti, it's actually 16 inches from the bowl to the ground. And that might sound trivial, but the reason why it's important is if you go measure your bowl at home, it's roughly 16 inches off the ground. So this is the height of a standard toilet system. So you don't have to squat, you don't have to worry about all of the pain points of, kind of trying to use something that's a little unstable. And it makes it feel very familiar for people that are used to toilets in their home. And if you don't believe me, talk to women that go camping with you, because they are the judge of the easier use systems. And I have found that I get a lot more positive reviews on this system because it is so familiar, it is clean, it's sanitary, and it's easy to use. So it doesn't require a lot of thought. You might notice I also have this Kelty blockhouse. We use this as kind of the privacy area for the toilet system. Again, I deploy this typically whenever I have multiple people coming over. That way we can move the toilet system further away from camp so you don't have to deal with scent and all that good stuff, and you get a little bit more privacy that way. But if you own an off-grid trailer like I do and you're just solo camping, sometimes it's just you just deploy the shower system and then deploy your toilet system and you're good to go. So a couple of options there. But I just like to point this out because not a lot of people talk about the facilities when it comes to camping, and I think it's an important part of the experience. The way you get rid of waste is kind of one of those things where it's important for convenience sake. Now, and a final thought when it comes to the Porta Potti system, again, as I mentioned before, because it is a cassette system and you can use these digestives, it is toilet safe. So you can take this cassette home, undo it, and actually empty it in your home toilet and flush it down the toilet. So it is safe to do that. Now, first-hand experience, if you're doing a long week with a bunch of friends and you're having a lot of red meat, that can be pretty stinky, getting it deployed like that and actually getting rid of the waste. So be aware this is a much stinkier version than saying putting it in a bag and then throwing the bag away. But I think that's a small sacrifice to pay for the modern convenience of having a toilet. So I'll put links in the description for both of these units, as well as the Aquamax packets for the digestives. And I'll even put a link to the Kelty blockhouse. The blockhouse itself, I think, has been discontinued, but you can still find them on REI in out of stock capacity or out of manufacturer capacity. They've actually changed the design on this, so that's why this blockhouse is no longer being sold. But if you can find one, they're perfect. The setup's real easy. You can deploy it out like I've done here. You get the ground mat, so you're not standing in the dirt. And it gives you some additional privacy for not only showering, but also using it like we're using it as a toilet facility. So leave some comments below if you've got experience with either one of these units, or you've had some other experience with a different kind of unit that might work better than these. I'm always open to hear about other people's experiences when it comes to camping. Thanks and have a great day.